1965, this was the sound. Conditions done. One more time.
All right, we're talking a little dollars and cents here on America Tonight with my pal Saul Albom. But before we go back to Saul, quickly, I want everybody to hear this. Ben Bernanke, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, speaking earlier in the day on Hump Day up on the Hill about what's happening with the economy, where we're headed, jobs, what's happening there. And we know that the market is affected by news, so he spouted off some good news, but was it really the truth? And this was actually Bernanke's news conference after he had made that appearance on the Hill. Here's what he said.
Most committee participants expect economic growth to remain moderate over coming quarters and then to pick up gradually. Participants' projections for the unemployment rate in the fourth quarter of this year have a central tendency of 7.8 to 8.0%. Declining to 6.7 to 7.4% in the fourth quarter of 2014. Labor market conditions have improved in recent months, with the unemployment rate having fallen nearly a percentage point since August. However, at 8.2%, the unemployment rate remains elevated.
All right, jobs, jobs, jobs. Saul, you just heard what Ben Bernanke had to say, the Fed chief saying that the central bank remains entirely prepared to take additional balance sheets. That was also what he said. Should the economy require additional support? What does that gobbledygook mean?
That means is what they're saying is they're going to print enough money to buy all the debt out there. Remember, we talked about this about 4 months ago, about the total amount of debt on the balance sheets of the central banks. Okay, so currently right now, the top 7 economies, France, Spain, Germany, U.S., Japan, etc., they have about $15 trillion worth of debt that they have already printed up and bought treasuries and bought mortgage bonds and everything like that. So, yeah, I have no doubt that they can keep printing money. So keep printing money to keep the status quo, okay, to keep rich people from losing money, to keep your listeners from, when they have their jobs, being able to afford things like cheaper bonds and stocks. Remember, if all these stocks and bonds collapsed, they would go down to 20 cents, and the people out there with no money may be able to afford something. Okay, so and all of you out there who have no houses, the housing prices would have been cut 30 and 40%. All of you out there who are living in apartments, you are screwed by this because you don't live in a house. You'd be able to afford it. So anyway, what he's saying is they will keep printing money. They will keep interest rates artificially low, creating distortions in the economy to keep the powers that be, to keep the wheels from coming off. Okay, and then after the election, when we raise taxes, when we have to start paying for this, then you guys are really going to be doubly screwed, because not only are you going to have inflation, okay, because the money is going to come out, but you're going to have malinvestment and wasted resources, because businesses were making investments and hiring people and creating products that are based on the phony economy of low interest rates and on all this economic activity. And third, and we'll also still have all this debt on the books, so we'll be like Japan. So that's basically what he's saying, is that the job rates are going to be okay. So on the short term, he's maybe right, but again, the Bush tax cuts, are they going to get repealed back? And those aren't going to hurt. What about dividend taxes? That's not going to hurt anyone. That's not going to stop investment at all. People are going to invest more because more of their upside is taken away. They're like, I know. Now if I invest in Apple, I get a 4% return, and then next year I'm going to get a 3% return and take all that risk. So having less return on your money makes you more incentivized to go out and do stuff.
I agree. It's really ridiculous. Monopoly money. It's nonsense. I knew you would say that.
Political money. Since the gold standard was removed, we've entered in a debt super cycle. The wheels have come off. The politicians have no break. They have no incentive to balance a budget. They have no incentive to moderate their spending. If I go to war, I'll just raise debt. Remember, it was the Republicans who said deficits don't matter. But a couple of years, we'll learn. It's just going to take a long time. Anyway, go ahead, Kate. I'm off my soapbox. Go ahead.
No. I agree with you. I'd be right there next to you. I say the same thing all the time, especially when it comes to pumping the funny money, because that's what it is. You're absolutely right. It's all about politics, and it's that cycle that keeps going round and round since we walked away. Folks listening from the gold standard for sure. He sent me an interesting document. Saul is very thorough. That's what we love. He's my pal, and I love having him on there, but he also is just so great at research. And Saul, will be interesting to people. There's a list of different cities, what loaf of sliced bread was, white rice, that kind of stuff, and regular unleaded gasoline. One of the places that you list on the document, London, 5 years ago, white rice in the supermarket, right, would be $1.37. Now $4.81, translating that into U.S. dollars. That is crazy.
Yeah, and, that again, it's all this political money coming through. Remember that as things get better, the costs go down. The cost of your TV has gone down. You get more for the money. The cost of your computer has gone down. The cost of everything goes down over the long run, as long as it's not monkeyed with. And as you can see, the cost of rice 5 years ago was $1.37, and over 10 years, it's gone up almost 3 times in rice. And in New York, the cost of like 2 pounds of rice has gone up a double from $3.50 to $6 in New York City. This is just the big cities that the economists keep track of. This is from the Economist report. This is not me. Okay, this is not.
Yeah, you was there. Yeah.
Okay, this is literally the Economist magazine. Put these numbers together from what they've seen, and the same as gasoline has gone up 3 times in the last 10 years. Rice, sliced loaf bread, all these things. That a lot of margins have come out, and that they show that instead of prices being stable, is that they're not stable. And when Ben Bernanke says that, inflation's just going to be 2%, well, 2% doesn't mean a doubling in price in 5 years.
Yeah, that's awful. Are you kidding? And the one I love, and you must have sent it from the same document, I thought that was so interesting too, is if we wanted to go together and have a pint of beer at just what's listed as an average bar in Australia, if we translate that into U.S. dollars, $8.91. Are you kidding me?
I thought that was a little fun chart for you and your listeners. You could play with it. Yeah. I'm a working man, and I like to go and have a beer. And good thing I didn't put Norway on there. Otherwise, you would have hit the floor. It's like $12 or $13 for a beer here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And we keep talking about the Eurozone and what's happening, and in France, big repercussions to see if Nicolas Sarkozy stays as the president or if the socialist beats him in a runoff election. What does that mean? What kind of an effect would that have on France and the rest of the world?
Okay, well, what I would say is let's take a look at what Mr. Holland says. And he's the socialist prime minister she's running. So we went through, looked at his stuff. And I do speak a little bit of French, so I was able to pick up a little bit. And basically, his campaign lines are basically the same populist stuff. And and let your listeners decide whether this will make it more incentivized to start businesses and to create growth and allow for more flexible workforce, more competitive jobs where people can rise to the occasion. So he's saying, one, he's going to raise the minimum wage, higher taxes on wealth and dividends, raise the income tax to people earning over €1 million a year to 75%, and raise the tax, just the income tax alone, not like their Social Security or anything, to 45% for people who make over $150,000 a year. Okay, so then he's going to lower the minimum retirement age for some professionals. So you could retire at 60, right? Institute a transaction tax, or says that the financial markets are his enemy. Institute Stop French banks from using overseas tax havens. Okay, well, maybe that will help. Be honest.
Maybe,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, 1 out of 10 ain't bad. Okay. Impose limits on leveraged buyouts, which means if you take on debt to buy something, you don't want them in. Ban stock options. Freeze gas prices. So he wants to put a lock on gas prices. And of course, keep the 35-hour work week mandatory by law. That's do the listeners out there wish that their
35 hours.
Mine was 35. Is yours 35?
Oh no, you can double that at least. 35 mandatory. That's crazy.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. So it's basically he's shorting capitalism and going along socialism. So unfortunately, he's just adding a drag. Make it harder to fire people, pay more taxes, it disincentivize entrepreneurship, and then get angry when the only game in town for technology is in the U.S. or in Singapore. Where Facebook, Google, Apple, and all these giant innovative companies are coming out of the U.S. And where's the French Google? Where's the European Apple? Where's the innovation? Maybe and then Skype. Funny, Skype. That didn't come out of Central Europe. That came out of what, like Estonia or Lithuania?
Yeah, yeah. So not even that. Yeah, you're right. They're so behind the 8 ball there. Saul, you were absolutely terrific. I know people loved it, and we enjoy having you on. And we'll talk to you again, my friend.
You got it, Kate. Best of luck to everyone out there. Remember, crisis, and challenge means opportunity for your listeners to overcome and profit.
Absolutely. Well said. So there is opportunity out there. Thanks, Saul. Say hello to the missus for me, and we'll catch you again on the flip side.
Got it. Bye.